All right, so you're starting off round four.
Yeah. So before you guys even start with me, this is for fantasy, not reality. All right. So with this next pick, I already got three positions done. I got my front court done with Hakeem, Anthony Davis, and Larry Bird. I mean, I can't. I'm happy with that. Now I got to fill something in the backcourt. We're talking about the last 40 years, and if you look at his best 5 years, averages a triple double. I'm taking Westbrook.
Whoa.
As my point guard. I'm taking Westbrook as my point guard. I'm sorry. Look at the last. You look at the last 5 years, and you look at those numbers. I know he's going to hurt me in my field goal, but I'll be okay. I'm going Westbrook with my point guard.
I heard you with your field goals. You better think about those turnovers too, man.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. I mean, I knew I'm going to get some criticism with this pick, potentially. That's why I prefaced it the way that I did.
You chose Westbrook.
I'm taking Westbrook as my point guard.
There's some nice point guards. There's some nice point guards out there right now.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. And trust me, I've been looking through them.
All right.
I've been looking through them. But I'm sticking with my decision.
Even fantasy wise, that doesn't make any sense. Not even fantasy wise.
Okay.
All right, man.
We'll see. We'll see at the end of the day.
Turnovers.
I know he's gonna hurt me in some positions, but
even free.
He's a walking triple double.
Yeah, field goal percentage, man. That boy can't shoot for nothing.
No,
I can tell you just looking at your roster right now, Headley. In real life, Hakeem Olajuwon is definitely punching him in the face. like 1,000%.
Yeah, most likely.
Yeah, I you know what? I have a love-hate relationship with Russell Westbrook. I think he's a fascinating athlete. He's a great basketball player, but I know he passes you the ball. If I was a great player, I shouldn't say I was a great player, but like I don't know if I'd play with him, man. I don't know. I think I'd rather play against him. I think the way his career kept going the last few years, where he flamed out in the first round, it's yeah.
We're talking about the best 5 years, though.
I know. But it just rubs me. He just rubs me the wrong way.
Hey, you're right.
Great player, though. Great player.
That's why I had to say. That's why I had to give that speech at the beginning.
Well, Randall, who do you got?
I'm gonna go with. This is a toss up, but I'm gonna go out on a limb, and I'm gonna go with Julius Erving.
Ooh. He was on my list.
I'm gonna go with Julius Erving. So you know what I mean, like 22 points. You know, almost 7 rebounds, 4 assists, two steals per game. You know what's interesting about this is that he has 1.5 blocks per game.
Wow.
So, yeah, I didn't know that. So, yeah, I'm gonna ride with my man. You know what I mean, Dr. J. We'll see what pops off with that. You know what I mean?
One of the smoothest, most classiest guys, ever. Julian, do you think you can play in this era?
Jay? Yeah.
Dr. J?
For sure.
Okay, because I know you have your bias against some certain 80s players.
I do.
So
the game has changed, right? So I don't know how people cannot see has changed. It's faster. A lot of the bigs nowadays, and he's definitely athletic enough to play in this day and age. So that's no question. Right? So I feel he can play in this day and age. But no, you can't bring guys from the 70s and stuff like that to play with these guys today in any sport.
Yeah, it's tough because it's tough because I mean, I understand what you're saying, but when you break down some of these guys' games and stuff, like, because sometimes I'll watch these like 70s games and just the fundamental skills and stuff, I'm like, nah, they can play in this era still. Like the great ones, I can't say all of them, but I'm like some of the great players, like a Clyde Frazier, for example, like a John Havlicek. When you watch these guys, you're like fundamentals. You're like, nah, they can.
I think these guys can play. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, I think
they still go and still be
era, but
really
they won't have that same impact that they had in their own era. That's what I'm like arguing about. Won't be better than the players than in this era in terms of the impact because the game is different.
Right, but at the same time, you put them in this era too, with the type of training and all that stuff too. You know,
Yeah, that's my point. That's
I think
part
they
of
can come out being great too.
that's part of my point, man. Like that's just not evolution. Yeah, that's just evolution. You know, you players are growing, they're aging faster, they're learning faster, they have the skill sets. I was just talking to Joel, my brother, and he's telling me how he's training these young guys, and he goes, these guys are doing things that I could never have done at that age. Kids are starting younger, and it's just a different era.
Can I ask a question?
Go ahead.
Would James Harden be able to handle 90s basketball?
Handle? What do you mean? Like define handle?
Meaning the way he cooks people, the way he cooks now, would he be cooking in the 90s?
The answer is no.
Thank you.
James Harden would not be,
because there's
James Harden would not be doing what he's doing now in the 90s. Hell no.
Okay, but before I give my reason, do you see some of the guys that Jordan was cooking, like guys that were guarding Jordan? Like I don't mean like the Dumars and all that. I mean like just your regular.
yeah.
You see the lateral quickness of these guys back in those guys, and I don't want to say anything about like race or anything, but like
they're white guys.
Harden would be cooking these guys. I'm telling you, he would be.
Man,
now the only reason why I'm hesitant because the physicality, like the Lambeers and them guys would not allow it.
But it's that hand check too, man. The hand check slows you down, right? So you have to get. I don't know if.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
Yo, Julian, all you have to see.
I don't know. It's hard to say.
All you have to do is see what Harden does in the playoffs, and that's what 90s ball is throughout the season. And you can, and that's why I know he would not survive in 90s ball.
Well, the question wasn't survive. The question was, would he be able to cook guys in the 90s?
It's still a no. You want to know why? Because majority of his points seem to be coming from the free throw line. If he ain't shooting threes, he's shooting free throws. And if the 90s ball ain't about the whistle, he's almost.
Yeah, that's true. Good point.
Good point.
That's a good point.
That's a good point. So, size-wise, physicality, because James Harden's a thick dude. I think he can handle the physicality. I don't think I'm too worried about him with that aspect.
Yeah,
he's kind of soft on the whistle.
It's the mental I'm talking about. I'm not saying that he can't take the hits. It's the mental.
I honestly, like, if he can't cook nobody in the 90s, nobody can from this era. That's all I'm going to say. Curry, nobody can. That's all I'm going to say. I'm going to just leave it at that. Because average player, I would say, yeah, you're right. But you're talking Harden, who to me is one of the best ISO players ever in the history of the game. And
tell me tell me what's so special about his ISO move, anyways. Other than his travel, other than his step back, other than his side step travel. Tell me
you don't like Harden, obviously.
No. Actually, I have no problem with Harden. But my thing is, there's you don't like his ISO game. You don't think he has an ISO game? Well, for one, for you to hold the ball for 20 seconds out of the shot clock, I think that's ridiculous.
I agree. I'm not arguing that. I'm saying, do you believe that?
Yeah.
I agree with you.
The offense is dedicated on him doing that. That's different, right?
But now think about it. So Harden, he starts off with he'll hit you with the 1-2 dribble, and basically how he tries to get you is he's trying to get you on your heels. And if you don't bite, he gets you with the hezzy. If you don't bite for that, then he takes off going to the left. The only side he seems to love to go to, and he might as well count his blessing for Greg Popovich, because he basically got him to practice the floating game. That the defensive scheme that the Spurs put on him in the playoffs, he had to develop that floating game. But if you really think about it, Harden he only does two things, and he's either going to try to break you down to the top of the key and shoot a three, and usually results in a step back. Now, mind you, his handles are nasty, so he can get you on your heels. The thing is, if you get a disciplined defender, then he's going to have a problem.
Yeah.
And
Anthony, you made a good point. Julian, let me ask you: do you think his moves would be a violation in the 90s?
Oh, 100%. But you know what? Okay. I think the Jordan era is when the actual carry started to be like allowed. Like, and I think that's when it started. Now
I would say before that, because
right now it's a new level. What, the carrying the ball was before that?
I would say a little bit before that too.
Because they're actually patting the ball in the 60s.
I know, but I'm saying like Isaiah Thomas. Isaiah Thomas would tell you that he would sometimes carry the ball and stuff.
No, I know that, but there's not to the level that we're seeing today. These the Hezzies are like second. Like they're like going across the body, and it's allowed. It's not calling anything. So it is at its worst moment today, to me, in my eyes, anyhow. I think it started. The trend started to become bad or worse from the Jordan era.
Yeah.
It was carrying before that too as well, but anyhow, I don't know how you guys can't respect Harden's isolation game. I don't like his game because I for one don't think you can win a championship with Harden. That's me personally. I don't like his overall game. But when you're talking about isolation ball, dribble drive, just handles and scoring, he's got to be in the top 3 of all time.
Well, the thing
Scoring
is,
the ball. That's it. Not winning, nothing else.
I think the question was, would he cook the same way? So he's averaging 35?
No, I'm not negative.
I'm just
negative.
Saying
no way in hell.
Cooking guys on ISO every game in the 90s.
I'm pretty sure Anthony asked, would he be cooking the same way if it was in the 90s?
As of today, like what do you mean, like how he's doing today?
Correct.
He get beat the fuck up in the 90s.
Nah, there's no way.
That's what I said. The only thing that would be different is the physicality.
Imagine Harden playing the Pistons.
That's what I said.
Nah, he's done. He's done. The first quarter,
imagine Harden playing Alvin Robertson back in the day,
or the X-Men, or Anthony Mason.
That's what. So we're not saying he's not going to get hit. We're not saying he won't be an all-star, but he's not cooking the same way.
But he will be cooking though. Yes.
No.
Yeah,
not the same way though. Not the same way. Not the same way.
Of course, he's going to catch dudes, but he's not going to go off like he was going off on a regular basis. Because after he starts kicking dudes, he's going to have to start shooting threes. Because, like Anthony said, whistles.
Julie, let me ask you this: Could Larry Bird play in this NBA?
Yes.
Okay.
Any of those stars can
play. I'm just making sure. I'll ask Julian.
But if you're asking me like the average player, like give me an average player in the 80s.
We're not talking average players. We're talking.
No, but I'm saying average players in this era can play in that era.
I'll definitely give you I'll give you this.
Van Vliet can play in that era.
I'll give you this much. I don't know what everybody else thinks, but definitely when you start looking at the 12th, 11th, and 13th man on the bench, some of those guys they look like YMCA guys.
Who today?
No, back in the day.
Yo, some of these stars, man.
That
were like the Craig Elos, and like they were actually great basketball players in those eras. Those guys were great, like that kind of tier level. Those guys will not be that great in this era.
You know what's funny, Julian? Before I select my pick, you guys can hear me, right?
Yeah.
Before I select my pick, so and you, I don't know. I feel like you should be familiar with this, being that you're a Scarborough guy. But when I just moved to Toronto, Andrew Wiggins' father, Mitchell Wiggins, he had just retired from the league, and he used to play at the Scarborough Y, especially all the time. And this guy was in his 40s, and he was a pretty good NBA player before he ended up getting banned and played overseas and stuff. But let me tell you, man, and especially back in those mid-90s, there was some ballers that used to come through there, guys who played pro, different things, and man, he used to cook everybody, man, everybody. And he wasn't a star, and he played in the 80s, but that guy used to cook all of us, high school ballers, college guys. Pro league guys, like just the fundamentals and the efficiency of how he got his footwork. I'm like,
the guy's an NBA player.
But that's what I'm saying. So when I'm saying
you at the Y, what do you want?
No, but what I'm saying is like if it like somebody like him, could he play in this era now? I'd say hell yeah.
Yeah, they can all play in this era. Like I'm just saying, like when you're
easier for a guy like
question,
him.
I'm looking at it like, would he be at that same type of all-star superstar level in this era? I'm not saying would they be able to play. I said yes to all your questions. I said yeah. I can still play. I never said no to any of them. But they ain't gonna be like I said, like they're not gonna be that superstar. It's a different era. I don't know how.
It's a different time.
I'm sorry.
It's almost like a different sport.
Yeah, honestly. And it's even hard to compare, because the game was slower back then, man. More physical.
The analytics of the 3-point shots, it just makes it crazy.
Not only that, just the athleticism now today versus back then.
Yeah. No, for sure.
All right,
I'll make Headley mute. You can't. Okay. You can't hear.
Who took Steph again?
I did.
Okay.
Okay. All right. So
2000s.
my my next pick is going to be quick and easy. There's going to be a little explanation. I'm going to take a beating in this category, but I'm looking at who's left out of some of these great players.
Mhm.
And I think I got to do it just for the rebounds, the points. Actually, you know what? Let me not do it. Hold on.
Nah, do it, man. Do it.
Hold on. Wait. Hold on. Let me
Oh,
check this
man.
category one more time. You know what? I'm gonna go with Shaq.
There you go. That's what I'm talking about. You get him. Get him. Get him.
Shut up, Anthony. I know you knocking it.
You might as well choose Westbrook as well, Calvin.
Was that?
Whoa.
You might as well choose
Whoa.
Westbrook at the same time.
Calm down. Take it easy.
He's not as bad as Westbrook. He's not as bad as Westbrook.
Take it easy.
Westbrook puts up more numbers than Shaq. Get off it.
Whoa.
Oh, I don't know about that.
I don't know about
Yeah,
that.
puts up numbers.
Yes, he
I don't
does.
know about
Take
that
it
either.
easy.
I don't know about that.
Take it easy. Take it easy.
No,
Shaq
man,
will kill your free
Shaq
throws.
got some good stats if you talk about fantasy. Shaq hurts you with free throws.
Yeah, he hurts you with free throws, but like the rebounding, the field goal percentage, the points, like it's crazy.
What's
Even
his
the
career,
blocks, even the blocks.
rebounds. What's his rebound career numbers?
I think it's about 11 a game.
Really?
Yeah, which should be higher actually.
Should be higher than that. That's what I'm saying.
It should be higher, but even
Yeah, he
blocks,
gets you.
even blocks.
What's his blocks?
Career is 2.3
Okay.
for his career. You know what I mean?
I gotta put more respect on his name. Then.
Yeah, you gotta put more respect on Shaq's name, dog.
All right, go ahead.
Like I said, the beating you take is the free throws. Like you're just gonna have to like eat the cost. You know, but
Yeah.
And the thing about it, he took a lot of free throws, so he can.
he really did.
He really weighs that down.
He really did. He really did. He really did. But especially when you get into like early Laker days and stuff, or like when they were winning, I should say, winning them titles, like that was, he was just an absolute. He was Godzilla.
How's your squad? Put up your squad. I want to see your squad as a free throw percentage right now. Shaq addition. You got good free throw shooters, and I can't be mad at this.
Yeah, I got good free throw shooting. Durant and Magic basically carry it for me because they're like 80-something% for their career. So it's pretty.
Yeah,
easy.
but you guys want to talk about my point guard and his shooting. When you look who I have in front of him, I got Hakeem, I got Davis, and I got Bird. Come on now.
He said, "Come on now." You put Davis before Elijah one though. Come on now. You put Davis before Elijah one though.
Yeah, you had some questions.
Come on.
I put Davis in front of Elijah one.
You drafted him before Olajuwon.
Yeah, you're right, but I'm talking about the best 5 years, and I honestly, at the end of the career, at the end of Davis's career, we're going to be talking about him statistically wise as one of the best statistics out there.
As long as he stays healthy.
Yeah, you're right.
Because there's
You're
always
right.
that with him. You know what I mean?
You're right.
2 ply is always better though.
And don't forget, both those guys give you numbers on the defense too.
Charmin toilet paper.
Oh shit!
That man, he's forever going. You can blow on that cat, he'll go fly away, man.
As I said,
Take me
this
to
is
the
his
back
first
real
year.
Hey, Calvin, can you mute Anthony's mic?
All right, Anthony, you got next.
So, being that you guys are all haters and don't want to let me get LeBron as a point guard, I'm gonna have to go ahead and scoop up John Stockton.
Damn.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I wanted him.
And the crazy thing is, you probably would have got him if y'all would have just said LeBron could be considered a point guard. I mean, for this, basically, I'm not really too worried about points because I'm getting that from my other 3.
Yeah.
But in terms of assists, rounding up,
Steals.
11 assists a game. You got field goal percentage 51 or 52%. Field goal
Damn,
from
he
3.
shot that good?
30,
Yeah.
yeah, 38% from 3. Free throws, he's looking at 82% or 83%.
How many threes did he shoot?
I'm not too sure how many threes he shot. Hold on real quick. Let me check this out. Jeez.
He's about 38% for his career.
I know 38, but
Yeah,
I'm
but-
starting to wonder
Oh,
like
how much? Like how much he did?
Yeah, how many?
Look,
How many? How many? Like 2 a game kind of thing.
I mean, yeah, you're probably looking at that. Yeah, he's looking at about 1.5 per game.
1.5 per game.
Attempts.
That's
Yeah,
definitely
so like
inflated in
one
this
make
era.
a game, or like less than a make a game. Okay.
No, but that definitely, put him in this era now. He's making at least about 3 or 4 a night easy. He was a great shooter.
Mm-hmm.
He was a great shooter.
But he was a great shooter, but he didn't take contested threes though.
Sometimes he did. Hell, he was unselfish to a T. You know what I mean?
No,
Like,
you're right. He was unselfish.
Yeah.
You're right, but
was
he
really
didn't take a lot of contested three when I saw his game. But he's good. I'm not going to fault him on that point guard pick at all.
The one thing I remember him back in the day that he was great at was on the fast break, the pull up three. Like he was one of the first guys I used to see that used to like come down on the fast break and just hit you with that three. And he
true.
usually made that shit like easy.
That's true.
Yeah, I can't. I mean, he's a dream teamer. Who can knock that?
Yeah, you're right.
All right, Julian, you're up next.
All right. So, I need a big man. And when I pulled up this big man stats, I was amazed. I think after looking up his stats now, like he needs more respect. Not just from you guys. From the
Well, I can't wait to crap on this now. Let's go.
I wish I can just pull up like
He's
I don't
gonna say Valanciunas. He's a Raptors guy. He's gonna say Valanciunas.
I want, before I tell you this person's name, if I'm looking at his stats from 1980 to 1990, okay, those 10 years, the man, I'm looking at it. I'm just taking a guess here. I'm looking at the averages. He averaged about 25 and 13, 25 points and 13 rebounds in those 10 years in the 80s.
I think I know who it is.
Oh,
He shot the free throw ball pretty nicely too in the high 70s for a big man.
I know who it is.
I
The
forgot.
blocks, almost a block per game in the 80s. Now I'm just looking at 80 to 90. I'm shocked. I never knew any of this until now. Moses Malone.
I forgot about him.
I know. I was gonna
I
pick him
forgot
up.
about
What position is he now?
He's center.
He's a center.
He's a center.
I thought he was a power forward.
No, he's a center.
No, he's a center. Moses
Center.
Malone. Don't ever disrespect Moses Malone.
See,
if
the
you guys
thing
can
is,
pull up, whenever you guys get a chance, pull up his career stats.
No, it's amazing. I forgot about him.
Oh,
Actually,
my
I forgot
goodness.
about him.
hey, not me though. He was originally going to be my first pick,
Really?
but the reason the reason why I didn't want to pick him though is because that 3-point percentage is oh my gosh, it's
3-point?
The 3-point percentage, because you gotta consider the percentage.
But that's a big man. I'm not worried about that 3-point.
But I know, but if you're talking about other bigs that can give you decent numbers
True,
in that
fair
category,
Yes.
you would have to put them in front before picking up most.
But there's not many fives that can really get you that 3-point ball right now.
No, you're right.
List
No, you're right.
now, right?
Absolutely, but the numbers that he puts up, there's people that put up at least they're not put up maybe the same numbers, but similar to what he's putting up. But then they're doing better in other categories that'll help you out with the fantasy aspect.
Fair enough.
No, that's a great pick. I
On my
totally
team,
forgot about
I
him.
needed rebounds.
What was his stats? Wriggle up.
Oh. Man, listen. Well, I'm just looking at between the 11 years from 1979 to 91. And after 91, it drops dramatically.
Yeah, 'cause he was old at that point.
Yeah,
Really?
obviously. But you gotta
Really
look
looking
at, if you get a chance, look at this. Like it's unbelievable.
I'm gonna do it right now, real quick, because I have
Look at the
basketball
80s.
reference up.
career, you got him at 20, 12 boards, 1.3 assists, 49 or 50% field goals, 9.6 for 3-point field goals, but whatever, that's fine. Free throws, 76%, like you mentioned.
Yeah.
With the block game, he's looking at 1.3 blocks, steals at 0.8. He's got some solid numbers. He's solid. And then, but I see that stretch you're talking about though. That 25.8, 27.8, 31.1, 24.5.
Yeah,
And those are
24.
season numbers, not like a week.
Yeah.
That's like the whole season. I never knew until now.
and you know what? I'm just taking a look at this.
I'm embarrassed.
You know what? He was a 3-time MVP, and when you look at those years from like 78 to 83, Like 1 year he averaged 25 and 17 or 25 and 18. The next year 26 and 14, 28 and 15, 30,
rebounds.
31 and 15 in the second MVP. Then the third MVP when he joined Philly was 24 and 15. Like, yeah, I that's a great pick. I totally
That's a
forgot
great
about him.
stretch. That might be one of the best stretch of 10 years, like a decade.
No, absolutely, and he gets
in the
forgotten.
history.
Nobody talks about him when they talk about big man. They never mention him, but he
don't know why.
cooked everybody and he bullied guys on the boards.
I remember those stats or those clips.
Yeah, it was out of
Anyhow,
control.
so that's who I got. I wanted.
That's a great pick. That's a great pick. I'd even have him on my list, which is shame on me.